Hi guys! Today I'm making Ghormeh Sabzi. It's this wonderful Persian herb stew, and it uses a lot of leafy green vegetables, including spinach and some stew meat and some other ingredients I'll tell you along the way. I have modified this recipe to fit into the Weight Watcher points. The portion size is nice and it's delicious. And as you can see, I'm still drinking my coffee. So I have to kind of start this early in the morning. Not real early, but start it earlier in the day because it takes a while to wash it, dry it, chop it up. So I'm going to be working on that today. And then it needs to cook a while. I can only find these in a Middle Eastern store. So they're dried limes and they add a really delicious flavor. Some people like to eat them in the stew and some people take them out like you would a bay leaf. But I just like to eat just a little tiny bit with each bite. At the end it looks like a piece of meat in there. Fenugreek leaves, ground turmeric, onion, dark red kidney beans. I was gifted this wonderful cookbook and I try to modify these to kind of work into the Weight Watcher plan also. But so far our recipes have been really good. I have noted that it's just a little too much salt for me in this specific one. I'm gonna kind of go along with the recipe, but I've made it my family's recipe also, so I'm gonna do my own thing slash use this recipe. Okay, so on with the washing and the drying and the chopping, which is going to take a while. So I have all the vegetables washed and they're here drying. All right, I've sharpened my knife and it's time to get to chopping. I have all these chopped up very nicely. It's a good amount. So now, time to cook. I chopped up one onion in a Dutch oven on medium heat. I'm adding 1 tablespoon of oil. The oil is where I save a lot of points in this recipe, but it turns out just fine. When your oil's a little bit shimmery, see it here, it's kind of shimmery. It's ready for the onions. Sizzle, sizzle. Half a teaspoon of salt. Half a teaspoon of turmeric. Stir to combine. I'm adding a little more than a pound of stew meat. But you can use lamb. This is lean beef stew. Okay, and while that's cooking in my non-stick pan, I think it's very important to have a good non-stick pan, and I replace these as needed. So I just spray some oil that I don't count, and I let the pan heat up. Looking really good. Continuing to stir. Let it brown a little bit. Okay, I'm just gonna, it's browned a little bit, so I'm just gonna, I see the liquid releasing, so I'm gonna pop the lid on for a while. Okay, now my pan is heated up a little bit. I'm gonna fry some of these vegetables in batches for just a little bit, just to reduce them. And this is where I save a lot of oil also in this recipe, is by just spraying, using spray oil. Salt, just a little bit. I'm also going to add a little bit of these fenugreek, just the dried ones, to each batch. They smell really good. Now I'm just gonna stir it. It's looking good. So this is cooked just a few minutes, maybe 2 minutes. And I'm just gonna set these aside for now and keep on with the batches. I love the smell of fenugreek leaves. It's so strong, it's so delicious smelling, and it reminds me of the smell of my dad's house, who is Iranian. He came here from Iran. This is looking so good and so fresh. Wow. So the meat has browned, and I cooked it for about 10 minutes with the lid on to let the water just cook down. Now I'm going to add about 1.5 cups of water. I may add more water later, but 1.5 for now. And I'm just going to turn the heat down to just like a simmer. Continuing to cook my sabzi, which is the herbs and the vegetables, in batches. Here's all my wonderful vegetables cooked down in this bowl. Got it at a kind of a high simmer. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit and add the dried lime. So I'm adding these dried limes. They're hard, but they'll soften up in this stew. About 4, just what your heart feels. And now I'm going to add the sabzi. So it's all stirred in, but it needs more water, so I'm going to add about 1 more cup. See how that goes. So I added another 1/2 cup in of water. And now I'm just going to let this kind of just gently simmer for, I don't know, a couple of hours. This is a stew that we've had in my family that no one can really tell you how much of any ingredient goes into it. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it, and maybe I'll need more water. I'll throw more water in there, and maybe I'll let it simmer low for a couple of hours. We'll see how that goes. We just gotta do it by how we feel too. And then I'm gonna throw the lid on it and wish it well. Good luck. About 15 minutes cooking. Turn it down a little bit. Just let it cook a little bit slower. And then, you know, these will get softer as you go. That's kind of when you know you're getting towards the end. And the smell, ooh, the smell is so good. It's gonna make your whole house smell really good. And the smell changes, just has a different smell the longer it cooks, and it's just amazing. I love Ghormeh Sabzi. This is maybe 30 minutes in. It's looking so good. I think I'll turn it down just a little bit more. So it's like between low and just, it's almost a low. So it's been cooking nice and low. It's been stewing for about almost 3 hours. And these little dried limes are soft, and I kind of squished them to kind of get the juice mixed in. 2 or 4 of them. It's got a little bit more time to go. I'm going to turn it up just to get it going. It's getting dinner time. Now I'm going to make some rice and sour salad to go with it. It's going to be... And I almost forgot the beans. I almost forgot to add them. I'm going to do the whole can. Heck with it. I mean, I wanted to add them in kind of towards the end, but not this towards the end. Just so they don't get all mushy. Yeah, just let those cook for like a half hour. Rice in the rice cooker. No oil, just salt. And I've washed these, and I'm basically going to make the same salad I made in my salmon bowl video. Looks so good. It smells so good. I'm just going to give it a little stir. Just kind of keep an eye on it. Just like every half hour, check on it. Make sure it's not out of water. And it's just looking So good. My son's salad that I'll give him just before dinner so that he'll eat all of this because he'll be really hungry. The salad. Oh, I wish I would have used that shallot. That would have been delicious, but I just used a regular yellow onion. That's fine, it'll be good. The stew, you know, I only really used probably about 1 tablespoon of oil, so if I say this is 4 servings for 1 tablespoon of oil, that would make it 3 points for a good, this is a good hearty portion. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna spend my points on my rice and then have fat-free yogurt. That sounds good. So I'm just gonna get my own salad ready. Nobody likes it this way but me. This is kind of the Persian way to make a sour salad. And it's with lemon, the juice of a lemon. And some garlic salt. And mix it. But normally then you would add some olive oil, which that adds too many points, so I just omit the olive oil and it tastes just fine to me. I'm gonna have plain non-fat yogurt for 0 points. I personally do not like Greek yogurt. It has a weird aftertaste, but I like plain yogurt. I almost forgot I have this bread that I'm gonna throw in the oven for a few minutes. I keep it in the freezer so it's hard as a rock, but the boys will eat it and I'm not gonna eat it because they're not on Weight Watchers. So there's this stew and this salad with some yogurt. It's a good portion of stew. So halfway through my meal I forgot that I should have added rice to it because I get 137 grams of rice for 5 points.